There's a lot of things that I love about Austin, but I like how we try to do things differently here. I like how there's such a focus on local businesses here. You can be an entrepreneur here and you can start your own technology company, or you could be somebody who starts a restaurant or a bar here. And I believe that that the people that live here, they look for authenticity, and so they can sense that. And if people don't provide something that is real and authentic, the people here won't accept it.
Like any good story, it's best just to start at the beginning. That's what we were thinking when we were at the groundbreaking at 44 East Ave. All of us at Flintco had never really seen a groundbreaking that 44 East put together. Really, it just had a tremendous start to this project. What Intracorp came up with was the idea to sell sponsorships to folks in the neighborhood, folks that were interested in real estate in Austin, and you could buy a chance to swing a sledgehammer or spray paint graffiti on the existing buildings at 44 East, and had a band out underneath the canopy, and it was just a really fun event. And so that's where we first thought of the idea to do a documentary about the construction of 44 East Avenue.
Intracorp is an urban residential developer. And so whether it's in Vancouver or Southern California, Seattle, or Austin, we're going to create residential projects. Our tagline is building the extraordinary. So these are not going to be run-of-the-mill, bland projects. These are going to be special projects that really have a focus for design, that have great locations, that are places that people want to live. They might be rental, they might be for sale, but in all of these locations, that's the commonality, that these are going to be really extraordinary residential projects. It's really exciting to be involved in a project that when people are driving up I-35, it's going to be the first building that they see as they enter downtown from that angle, and that people from any angle when they're looking at the skyline, this building is going to be, it's going to be in that view, it's going to be prominent. And so I think that's exciting, but it also gives me somewhat of a feeling of a sense of responsibility to make sure that I don't mess it up. We received bids from a number of architects, but I have to say, from the moment that we first met with Paige, they really seemed like they were the best fit for this project.
So one of the main things that we noticed right away from this particular site at 44 East Avenue is the adjacency to the park and to Town Lake. So one of our goals was trying to make sure that we could capture as many views from that location for these units. And so that means you need a lot of glass. So glass is one of the primary materials that we use in this project. On top of that, we've introduced several planting materials to kind of help make a connection on the garage, on the podium, to the adjacent park. Being from Austin is extremely important to Paige and myself on putting a project out there that fits within Austin. There are several projects around town that have been designed from other architects, and they stand out. They don't necessarily understand what Austin is.
And just that knowing that you built something that's going to, stand for a while, that people drive by, like here in Austin, I built the Independent, the Jenga building, and it's in an area that stands out by itself, just like the Austonian. Then this building here, 44 East, will be the same way. It will be the tallest building in the area. So it will stick out, and it's not like you get when you go to Chicago or New York, where you just got a bunch of buildings thrown together and they're all tall. Well, here they tend to have they're their own statue, and people see that. And, you know, just the pride of knowing that's my building, I did that. What I think about Clark Bashirs, he's a young, intelligent guy. I've never worked with Clark, but I've heard a lot of good things about him. Clark is going to be my structural concrete superintendent, so I look forward to basically saying, here you go, Clark. I'm right behind you. I'm here to help you if you need me.
Growing up, my parents owned and operated a residential remodeling company. So as long as I can remember, I was on a job site, working on a crew, picking up trash. And in construction, when you're the boss's son, you have a lot more to prove. You know, we're building homes here, and coming from a residential background and having built 2 of my own homes, I know the quality of a home is a very personal thing. So, you know, lessons learned in just construction techniques, because somebody's going to be living here someday, and I want to know that something I built is going to be built well and can be used with confidence.
So that day that we were in Intracorp's office, I think it was mid-March, and it was the first day that South by Southwest was slated to kick off. And after the meeting was wrapped up, Brad looked out the window and said, "You see that out there? It's Congress Avenue, and it's the first day of South by Southwest, and there's nobody on the street." No one at that table, I think, really understood what that was going to mean. I certainly didn't.
So the coronavirus impacts that I have been working on is in 3 areas. 1 as it relates to our owners and sales, 2 as it relates to construction, and 3 as it relates to financing.
I would say that COVID has affected everything. I'm not going to say it's perfect, and it's you know, a challenge for everyone. It's brought out some maybe not so great things. Nobody wants to wear a mask on a job site all day long. Nobody wants to be told to do that.
Things that you normally wouldn't do every day in construction, that we're having to do that to continue working, which it's almost like anything else. At first it's a pain in the butt, but then you kind of get used to it. Then you just learn to live with it, and that becomes part of what we have to do.
Grateful that I can make the situation as good as it can be, but I've also struggled with anger and frustration. One, that it does make the project so much different, so much more challenging, and yet there's still the expectation that we deliver the same thing that we want to deliver and is expected of us. This is a good opportunity to, you know, to grow, maybe understand things a little bit better.
We work closely with Urban Space, who's our project marketer, and we have a great team of agents that are focused on 44 East. And so, their focus was to reach out to buyers and make sure that everybody was doing well and make sure that everybody understood that the project was continuing to go forward and we were committed to this project. And so we really moved to a virtual platform as much as we could. We were meeting in the sales center by appointment only and not having public hours. And last week we had 2 new sales. What was really interesting is the sales that we had last week was the lowest price and the highest price. I think that said that people really felt strongly about this project, that no matter what was going on in the world, that people understood that when we delivered this project in 2022, that they wanted to have a piece of 44 East in 2022.
Whatever comes up, we're going to find a way to get through it.
Building America. Lights went dark, but your spark kept burning. You found your way home. Time slips away, but our dreams are built to last. Growing family, staying strong. Show up